Okay, hello everybody. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video than the others. Just needed to get them up today because I heard Aussie Royal Riot's video this morning. I love that girl. She should have her own radio show, really, she should. And she sounded a bit fed up, and Drop Bear has been fed up, and I got a message from Drop Bear and I could hear ping, 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 ping. Those were all her Aussie mates messaging her because apparently all they were told was there was cheering, right? That's just the media lying. That is terrible. And then they wonder why people have conspiracy theories and don't believe anything. Well, stop bloody lying to everybody of all the time about everything. If I had heard cheers today, I either wouldn't have made those two videos, or I would have said there were cheers, and if anyone had said there were boos, I would have said no, there weren't. That's not what I heard. So whatever the case may be, I just want the journalists to report the accurate truth of what actually happened. Is that really too much to ask? Good for Rhiannon Mills, good for Kay Burley. They did try toning it down by saying, you know, it was mixed. Not from where I was sitting, and I've seen subsequent recordings and they've toned the booze down. Sound people can do a lot. Now, I've made a list of things to talk about because I forget everything, and I watch my own videos back and I think, oh, you plonker, you forgot to say this. I had, not very many, but there were a few, I suppose some people might call them sugars, on my video today about the booing. But I don't think they were sugars. They're Harry and Meghan fans. And they're lovely, lovely people. And they're kind people. Kind, tender-hearted people. Very, very sweet people who want to see the best in everybody. And they touch my heart, really, quite frankly. But I did explain to them, they're more than welcome on my channel. Nobody, I don't believe any of you good people would ever have a go at them. Or be mean to them. And I've said, you know, just because you've got a different point of view doesn't mean you're going to get slated. But there are things that, as I've been watching Meghan quite closely over the last 4 years, there are factual things I have seen and I have heard come out of her mouth. Now, one of those things, because one sort of Meghan fan said, oh, everyone refers to the Oprah interview, and I bet you didn't even watch the full thing. No, I didn't watch the full thing. I think you have to pay for it, and I'm never going to pay for anything to watch with Meghan. But I did see the racism claim. Now, for me, what I really hated about the way she did that was she knew as soon as she said someone had questioned how dark Archie's skin would be, she looked a little afraid to me when Oprah went, "What?" Meghan was like, and she kind of gulped. I could see she thought, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. I've gone too far with my lies now. I've opened a big thing here. And then when Oprah said, who was having that conversation, she stared off and she looked very smug, very bitchy, and sort of smirked and went, oh, I don't think I'm going to say. I think that might be very damaging. For me, I wanted to slap her face. I thought, you bloody well know that's damaging. You've just done the damage. Of course that's damaging. And then they couldn't get their story straight, and Harry said it was one brief remark before they got married, and she's saying it's a continual conversation while she's pregnant. Then she's saying, oh, they were all racist, and she thought about killing herself. And now she wants to be back with them. Don't any of her fans find that odd? Why would you want to be back with an abuser that abused you to the point you wanted to kill yourself? Think about that, because you are kind people, you are tender-hearted. One person called me a racist. It was a long rant. I'm not going to block him because, again, he was nowhere near as nasty as that troll. I can't even remember his name now from the other week. But don't ever call people racists. Ever. Just because somebody is white does not make them a racist. And that was the nub of what this gentleman said. You're white, you're thick as a plank, and you're a racist. That's what he said to me. In one ear and out the other. But if you're going to go around calling all white people racist, that's not only very bad, it's very dangerous. Because are you trying to say that all black people are saints and above reproach and never ever do anything bad, say anything bad, and that all white people are evil and thick and nasty? Wow, that's not a sweeping generalisation much, is it? That is just as terrible as saying all black people are evil and all white people are good. What is wrong with you? That's not the case at all. And one of the things I particularly loathe about Meghan is I feel that Britain has come on such a lot from the 1970s. When I was a child, all sorts of derogatory terms were flinging around, not just about people's skin colour, people's religions, people's nationalities, people's sexuality, and women. You know, women were frequently called slag, tart, whore, all kinds of names, but that doesn't really happen anymore. Maybe, yeah, happens a little bit, but it's not rife like it was. And now it's like this race baiting that Meghan loves to do. And she does it to earn money because she wants to whip up a storm, then she get a big following, then she gets money and she's got a brand. So don't ever call me a racist. You couldn't find anybody further than racism. The City of London, the lunch, I'd like to know from you guys, because I haven't found anything conclusive. Were they actually supposed to be at that lunch at Guildhall? Were they? The place that I saw today, I think it was the Art Gallery Museum. City Guildhall Town Hall is like there's a square. Now I know this because, and we just recently received our most recent copy of number 30. I think that's probably backwards as well, because my film always flips it backwards. Number 30 is from the, if it's going to focus, the Merchant Tailors. I don't think it is. Merchant Tailors Company. I have the Freedom of the City of London. I am a merchant tailor. We are one of the 12 great companies, and I recently apprenticed, well I say recently, 2018 apprenticed my daughter, and she's going to be picking up her Freedom of the City of London in next year, I think, and Benji will. It's something that I inherited from my dad and he got from his boss. And because we've been there, I recognised the American Copeland painting, the massive painting of the last great siege of Gibraltar, which of course to us is a big deal because there's Gibraltar, which is very close to our hearts. So were they actually supposed to turn up at that lunch and they just dashed off because they couldn't stand the booing, or were they never going to go? The next thing on my list is what was that thing in her dress? She had like a little spike sticking out of the front of her dress. Was that a bit of awkward underwear, like a corset, or was it a microphone? What was that all about? I guess when Netflix comes out, I hope everybody remembers this, and if you see footage from Texas, you see footage from St. Paul's Cathedral, then I hope everybody remembers that she said, "Oh, I won't be filming anything for Netflix. I'm just going for family and love." Right? I want everyone to remember that one. Why was the booing important? Right, now this is really to these lovely people who like Meghan and Harry, who pointed out to me, a couple of them were mums, and said, how would you feel if your child was booed or bullied? Right, now number one, both my Sammy and Ben were horribly bullied at school. That's a whole other story. In fact, it was so bad in the end we took them out of school. They suffered years of it. My Sammy took a belly full of about 7 years of it. I often said to her, you wouldn't have got as long if you'd murdered someone and he went to prison. My Benji, he took about 3 or 4 years of it, and the kids, he was short for his age, they picked him up and put him in a bin upside down, and I was there, and when I went to go and help him, they threw rocks at me. They didn't know I was his mother. They thought I was just a concerned person. So I know what bullying is all about. I think everyone's got a lick now. I don't like bullying. The reason that I was so bloody proud of Britain today booing and refusing to be drowned out by the bells of St. Paul's and speakers and fake canned clapping is because Harry and Meghan live in a world of delusion. He's, I don't think, very bright, and she is a nutter. In my opinion, she's she's not all there. She creates a false world around her. She surrounds herself with PR people. She pays for fans. She doesn't have natural, organic fans. She wants to create this delusion because it makes her feel better. And I wanted that booing to cut through for free speech and to get the message driven home to them. Shut up. Enough is enough. Change your behaviour. Pack it in. And I think I think he got the message today. She, sadly, probably will never stop. Because, as I think I might have mentioned once or twice, me and my family have had 2 narcissistic psychopaths in our lives that have done incredibly unspeakable things. That's a whole other story, and I will tell that story one day, but not for years, because they're still in our lives. Took us the first 8 years to realise how to handle them, and we've got them under control. But narcissists, they never know they're wrong. They will never admit it. She will never admit it. It will always be somebody else's fault. He, on the other hand, I don't believe is a narcissist. And I know a lot of people hate him and hold him just as responsible and say he must have been horrible all along. But me, I feel he's given into her because the way he sees it is it's for love. But he's a victim. He's in a very abusive relationship. That is my take on it. He looks more and more miserable all the time. He doesn't know what to do. He can't get himself out of it. And so for me, he's a victim. And it is frustrating when you see a victim. And unfortunately, he's a multi-millionaire victim. And he's a prince. And without him, she couldn't be doing a lot of what she's doing. Unfortunately, she's got all those resources, and his title carries power for her. And that enables her. I've tried to imagine how bad our 2 psychopathic narcissists would be if they had millions, if they had titles. Oh boy, they'd be... I dread to think. Graham and I have even talked about it. I dread to think. Luckily, they're on the verge of bankruptcy at the moment, I'm pretty certain, and hopefully that'll be the kibosh for them soon. But if they had the opportunity that she has, and that's the trouble with narcissism, she won't see it. That she probably blocked the booze out, actually. She probably translated them as cheers. It's a condition. There's something else going on there. Now, I'm not an expert on mental health, but I am a bit of an expert when it comes to narcissistic psychopaths, because, as I say, for 12 long years, we've had these 2 people, and it's not just us. A local community has had these 2 people, and they have made a lot of people's lives a misery. She has the bullying allegations, which still have not been addressed. Tom Bower's book is coming out soon. It is a fact that her father is not very well. She doesn't want to talk to her own father. There are so many things, guys out there who still offer them your support. I know you're doing it because you're nice people, but really have a good look, because I was there once upon a time, and I will read out that letter that I sent to Prince Harry, but I'm not going to spoil the Jubilee with that. I'll do that maybe next Friday, because Fridays seem to be my sort of a YouTube thing. Yeah, I'll do that next Friday, and I think I might lose an awful lot of subs, because reading it back now, I sound like a sugar. At that stage, I felt sorry for him, and I felt sorry for her. But that was before they'd left the royal family, and I was thinking, oh, the poor things, they're getting a lot of heat. I still wasn't... Well, I wasn't a sugar. I wasn't really in favour of them, but I wasn't nowhere near as against them as I am now. Not since that Oprah interview. That was horrible. That was a mean girl trick. That was nasty. The royal family can't defend themselves. They can't speak up. They've all been labelled racists. How would you feel if somebody did that to you and you are unable to speak up and defend yourself? She knew that. She did that to get Hollywood to get the phone ringing, and it had quite the reverse effect. And good, but she still won't. She won't see that. She won't see that she's got no talent, that she's a troublemaker, that she's litigious, that people don't want to work with someone who's that diva difficult, that's that Sue happy, she won't accept that. It'll be everyone else. It'll be everybody else's problem. Well, let's see how tomorrow goes, because it's Lilibet's birthday tomorrow. So I shall leave you with those thoughts. Be nice to each other in the comments, and I'll see you in the comments, because I love reading all of your comments. It fascinates me, actually. It's better than reading a good book. See you later, guys.